Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I'm going to talk a bit about Leila's life. Now, I have two previous videos on Leila's life, and she recently deleted every one of her videos and posted one video where she's talking about a life update, how she recently got out of her relationship, and this video concerned me for a few reasons. Number one, I feel like she believes she's the victim in every situation, and she doesn't take accountability for being in a relationship with someone a lot younger than her and having known this person when they were a minor and seeing this person as a daughter at some point, but then she started dating this person, and I feel like Leila didn't really address those issues. But then also she loves to say that if you do not like what I have to say, if you do not like my videos, don't watch them. And to some degree, I agree with that. Like, you don't want to constantly be consuming content that enrages you and gets your blood boiling and gets you, like, thinking all these terrible things. But at the same token, like you don't get to sit there and say, well, if you don't like me, then just don't watch. If you don't like what I'm doing, just don't watch. Because people are allowed to have concerns and to voice their concerns. So whether you think those concerns are valid or not is another story, but you really cannot just tell people, oh, well, if you don't like it, just don't watch. Because maybe a lot of people do have valid concerns about Leila's life, about how she did a lot of gossiping, how she allegedly GR'd M'd a young adult, and how she also is very nasty towards other people and makes fun of them, which I'm never okay with. But I feel like Leila almost spiritually bypassed all of these issues. And
I'm doing this just because I want to do this. I am not going to accept the negative energy and the negative shit that I feel coming from such a big group out there. Do I think it only happens to me? Not at all. Do I think that it's something I'm doing? No. If you sit around and talk about how you're stressed out about having kids, people will be like, well, why'd you have them? Or you shouldn't have them. It's like we live in a society where we self-blame so much and we assign blame so much. So we're not only blaming ourselves, you've got friends or family or other people blaming you or making you feel bad for what.
I know that's a big scary word. You're like, what the hell are you talking about, Erica? Maybe you know what that word means. I don't know. And maybe I'm gonna explain it badly, and maybe you can correct me down below. Probably. But anyway, what I see spiritual bypassing as is, I see it as when you've either done something wrong or like something does involve you, and you say, oh, well, no, now I'm on this spiritual journey, so you can't bring that negativity into my life, because now I'm moving on past that. And that was something Hella Leash is very guilty of. Like, the second she got in trouble for allegedly being toxic towards members of her community, she was like, well, well, now I'm on this mental health journey and I'm becoming a better person. So you can't hold me accountable for what I did in the past. I understand that when you're trying to better yourself, you don't like to be reminded of the crappy things you did in the past. But at the same time, if you've done something, you don't just get to like ignore it and be like, well, now I'm doing better. Like anybody could do that. Ted, and this is an extreme example, obviously, but Ted Bundy could have done that and be like, yeah, I know I did that. I can't say what he did on YouTube. Hopefully you know what he did. If not, you feel free to look it up. But he was a serial KILLER that terrorized a lot of women. He was very misogynistic. But that's like if Ted Bundy was like, well, yeah, I know I did all that. I'm sorry, but can we move on? Because I'm moving on from this. So don't hold me accountable for something I did 2 months ago. Like, it's different if it's something you did 10 years ago. Obviously, if we're using Ted Bundy as an example, that's not, it doesn't matter how long it's been. If you've done that, you're a piece of garbage. But, when it comes to something like being nasty or treating people badly or GROOMing someone, you can't just decide, you can't just wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, well, I'm not doing it now, so it's over, so I don't have to try to make amends. Like, you still need to try to do your best to make amends for it, whatever that may look like. I mean, usually that involves apologizing. Sometimes it involves doing a lot of learning on your own. Sometimes it involves therapy. Sometimes it involves doing something for that person. I don't believe in this case that's appropriate at all, but in some cases that may be how you make amends. But you don't do it by sweeping it under the rug and then being like, well, you can't talk about that because now I'm past that. This is a new me. I'm beyond being held accountable for what the old me did. And I think a lot of people have a tendency to do this. I know in the past I've done this. Like when I was a freshman in college, I did some shit. I treated people poorly. I'm owning up to that. Like, I did that. That was me. Yes, I did have a lot of mental health issues at the time, but that's not an excuse. I still did those things, and I would be like, well, now I'm in treatment for my ED. Now I'm on this whole mental health journey, so let's not talk about that.
So, yeah, I'm just not going to let this change who I am or how I am. I'm always going to be witty. I'm always going to have like a satire about my comedy. I'm always going to be me. And that's what you can expect to find here on my channel, is me. You will always find.
But now, years later, I can see why that was problematic. Just because you are trying to better yourself, or I was trying to better myself, doesn't mean I get to then thwart accountability and be like, well, that was the old Erica, but the new Erica doesn't do that, so we can't tell the new Erica that the old Erica did something bad. Because
I've learned that when I watched other people on YouTube, I was so ready to pick at them when I wasn't happy in my life. I was ready to pick at their marriages or pick at them as women or pick at them as mothers because I wasn't happy with myself. If you're not happy at home, you won't be happy anywhere. And sometimes home is here or here. And if you are miserable, you're going to be a miserable person.
In order to actually grow from something, number one, we need to understand why what we did was hurtful or why it was wrong. And number two, we have to know how to prevent that from happening in the future. Like, if you keep making the same mistake and saying, I'm sorry doesn't mean anything, because if you continue like that, that's like, this is a random example, smacking somebody and then being like, oh, I'm sorry I smacked you, and then smacking them again, sorry, smacking them again, sorry. Like, and I know that's a very random example, please do not smack people, but like, an apology is only valid if you then, with moving forward, you do not continue down that same path and continue making that same mistake that you apologized for. And then also you have to try to make amends to the person or the people or the community or whatever that you harmed. Whatever that may look like for them. Like, you have to communicate with them and be like, what would make you heal from, is there any way I can help you heal from this? Or what would amends look like for you? So that's very much a two-sided thing. It's not just, well, I decided I'm gonna make a card to say I'm sorry, because maybe they're like, what? I don't need this card. Like, this isn't helpful. But anyway, so I think that was what she was doing there. I think first of all, she deleted all of her videos to kind of symbolize the whole blank slate. And then she, in her video, was kind of like, yeah, like, I know people are gonna say, well, you used to talk shit about people, you used to do this, you used to do that, but this is a new me. And it's like, that's great, but you still need to address the people you've hurt and the things you've done, because that's the only real way you can move forward. And this was kind of a woo all over the place, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, like maybe touchy-feely type of video, but it was something that was on my mind and I wanted to say it. And I know I haven't been very consistent with my videos as of late because it is finals season and I am a grad student, fun times. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you learned something or found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.